another abandoned railway walk. And it's a bit different this time. We normally find the railway and then we'll find a way back from the railway. But on this occasion we're going to a little village in the Cotswolds named Langford, and then we're going to try and find the railway from there. Not quite as easy as it sounds, since the author's directions are a little challenging, and the railway, after 60 years of abandonment, is starting to disappear into its surroundings. Let's go see what we can find. Fortunately we've got a map covering this area. Unfortunately it's a general purpose map and not a walker's map. So we start here in Langford, go down there looking for the railway. Once we've located the railway we'll follow it then all the way back up here to that point, and then go back along that little bit of road to the fields, back to the start. Langford. Slightly unusual place to start a railway walk, being quite away from the railway. Today we're looking at the Whitney to Oxford line. Started in 1860, closed 1960. This is our start point. The village church. I don't know any of the history of the church, but I expect it's all available. You can see evidence of several builds, extensions. Well, so we're off out into the countryside then. So we're looking for a stile then. Doesn't appear to be one until of course you look. Behind the gates. And it's hiding there in the corner. Now that is what you call a herd. Fortunately it's a milking herd, so no worries. Don't see a bull in attendance. So this is what makes this a different walk. Normally start at the railway, come back through the country. This time we have to actually find the railway somewhere out in the country. Oh, not doing very well so far, I don't think. You don't realise how big these things are until you come right up to them. Absolutely big. Well, this corner should yield a stile. It doesn't look terribly promising. Well, no stile. A reread of the map suggests that the stile was before the pylon. So it's the second outside corner, not an inside corner, if you see what I mean. I'll have to go back anyway, see if we can find it. Nearly back to the herd, and then looking through the scrub and the undergrowth. I'm wondering if this is what we're looking for. Very promising. It would appear that's the only crossing. And now we're heading under the electricity pylons, which is on the map. So I reckon that's got to be it. See where this gets to. Term this the Get Lost Walk, I think. I suspect we're on track at the moment, but I don't know how long that's going to last for. Well, that gets us to here. Corner of the field, copse on left. But look, 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 look. Wow, that's promising. Which gets us to here, which is the opposite side of the fence that we were standing by a short while ago. That way. I checked this area out on Google Earth and everywhere was arable. There wasn't any pasture land, and I've been virtually stuck in pasture land the whole walk so far. Odd. That's it. As far as it goes. Follow the grassy farm track. Well, looks promising. Some arable at last. Well, there's one field then. That's a nice scene. Fluffy clouds. It's now middle of September 2016, so the crop's all in. Now I don't want to cause too much excitement, but according to what I'm reading, this path crosses the branch line. We can only wait and see. That sounds good. I'm looking to this hedgerow in the farm distance. Looks suspiciously straight. I'm guessing that's our railway, folks. As we approach, looking promising, promising. What do you think, railway? Of course it is. Good. And just in case you needed some proof, here in the undergrowth is a bent rail fence post. Excellent. Lunchtime. We'll just see if this restaurant is open. Yeah, restaurant open. I don't think we'll get a better one on this walk. So lunchtime then. I was going for cheese and pickle, of course, but we haven't got any cheese. So I've gone for a limp lettuce sandwich instead. So we'll settle down, have a rest, and then we'll carry on looking at the Whitney to Oxford Railway. While perusing the Oracle over lunch, this was operated by the Whitney Railway Company. It actually ran to Fairford, and the objective was eventually to get it into Cheltenham. Didn't get there. Opened in 1860. By 1890 it had gone bankrupt, so the GWR, as they did, scooped it up and ran it as a railway, as they hoping to get to Cheltenham and places west. It had agricultural freight in the main, 4 to 6 trains a day, and it had that for 70 years. So it did good trade for 70 years. It actually went to Brize, Norton, Charterton I've got Langford and Lechlade. Lechlade is just down the road there really, that's the next nearest town. And then during the war, because there's lots of RAF airfields around, you might hear the occasional jet even now from Brize Norton. It had another resurgence, bringing in munitions. And then it actually did its usual, Beeching got hold of it, closed down 1962. And now it's just for us walkers to go and see what we can find. Lunch spot is actually on what's called an accommodation crossing. This is where the farmer will have crossed over the railway to get to his fields. Also the public using magnificent styles like that one. To get home we're going to have to go that way, but we're going to start by going this way. Down here is a crossing keeper's cottage apparently. Don't know how far, we'll give it a shot. I'm not sure I should be doing extra mileage, to be honest. I've got a gummy leg at the moment, which I'm hoping is going to last out. I've come with painkillers and bandages just in case, so I think I'll be alright. And then providing nobody tells my wife, and providing it holds out, everything will be good. Nice crop of maize. And a crop of something else. I'm starting to wonder if this was such a good idea. It's impenetrable here. Fortunately someone's gone before, so there's a track of sorts. Slightly better going. It appears we're approaching a road, so this could be promising. And they're hidden away. Gatekeeper's cottage. Guarding the road. And that's about all you're going to see of it. Then the piece around the other side is the original, that isn't. I think that's the original bit. And the extension isn't obviously. Gatekeeper's cottage. So by the cottage that way, Fairford, Cheltenham if you're lucky, Oxford and Whitney. So we'll begin the walk. Hear the buzzards calling. Lovely arable farmland. Concrete posts tie you to the railway. Quite inexpensive to build a railway here. All dead flat. You don't have any of these fancy cuttings or embankments to worry about. Just laid on the ground. Beautiful Cotswolds. Oh, that's a bit grim. I think that might have lost a battle with a piece of farm machinery. It's quite a pretty little railway. Accommodation crossing. Original railway line support for the gate. I did read that this was actually the rail that they used on the broad gauge, and when it had to be made standard gauge they decided to use it all for fencing. Did the old scrap man out of a bit. Onward. Back into this then, the old impenetrable. And talking of impenetrable, one has to feel one's way a bit. Try not to get tempted by all these blackberries. I should be here all day. Slightly overgrown. One has to pick one's way through this lot. Trying to miss the rabbit burrows, badger sets and the like. Brock's home. And then finally out again. And for a better track. Right by an accommodation crossing. Big stone railway pillars and fence posts. And then here, look, what a treat. Does it work or doesn't it work? They usually work. Look at that. And not only that, wow. The gate fastening, how many times has that opened and closed, I wonder? And that picturesque shot is the opposite side. A fence straining post, and then a sleeper with holes in it. Perhaps that was for a catch of some sort. But over there, if we're getting close, another one of those, and one of those. Onward. All the time followed by the fence posts. There, just to the right hand side, wooden posts. A bit rare on this section, this branch line. Always good to see a good old wooden post. Standing looking out at the countryside. This is a railway crossing, but a modern one. No accommodation crossing here. The farmer's just blasted a hole in the hedge along there and done the same on the other side. Evidently since the railway closed. I don't know what the rules were for accommodation crossings. Don't know whether the farmer was responsible. So you wouldn't want to get your herd of cattle stuck halfway across. I suppose you had to rely on the train times. Back to the lunch spots. I think we'll take 5. Ah, good walk so far. The Whitney Blanket Company kept this line going. They used this railway to link up with other stations, other railways in the country, east and west, and of course from there out into the big wide world. So they were by far the biggest industrial user of the line. Still didn't save it though. Okay, Enough with loafing. We're now headed along the railway towards Langford. They're being a bit casual with their straw here. Need to get that under cover a bit quick before the weather changes. That's got a wrap on it, but I think that just holds it together. Don't think that's waterproof. Now there, hiding in the undergrowth, is something you don't see very often. It's an old original wooden mileage post. The railway were obliged to put these every so often so that you could check to make sure you were being charged the right mileage. Wow. Get these things here under these again, marching across the countryside. Lines with bleached wooden posts here. Concrete posts have given up for now. Bit of cost saving going on. And that, I think, suitably by a super large hayrick. It's a cattle loading pen. And then here, barely discernible, with all the rubbish and junk, is the actual platform edge. Langford Station, ladies and gentlemen. Quite difficult to make it out. And rarity upon rarity is that, which is reckoned to be a lamppost, denoting the rear edge of the station platform. How wonderful is that? Back when it was still a used railway, only single track, and you have to say it was slightly utilitarian rather than pretty. I wish you could smell this straw. It's beautiful. Langford Station. Wasn't actually opened with the first line, it was opened in 1907. Site of the station is here, just by this road, and then Langford up there. There to the right is the original station access. We're heading there. Looking at the quality of the brickwork, I would say that's a GWR improvement. The first structure apparently was quite a cheapo affair. Got the main pillar of the bridge there. Then an abutment terminating in that. Isn't that beautiful? And as I hope you can see, I'm not sure if this will come out, the track actually dips down underneath the bridge. That was to save them money on brickwork. Apparently navvies digging the track bed down were a lot cheaper. Continue. There's nothing here to denote this as a railway. The thicket is too thick, so you can't actually see the fence posts. But there's anything that gives it away. It's the fact that it's dead straight. Continues down there. On and on and on. Oxford. There is just an occasional clue. Standing there proud, along with an old friend, Great Western Railway concrete post, and there in the hedge, an old rail straining post. And behind it, almost hidden in the hedge, is a Great Western Railway idea of a stile. Footpath crosses here and the railway had to accommodate it. Even the railways couldn't extinguish a footpath, they had to provide for them. And that has survived in there 80, 100 years, who knows. We're on a very, very slight embankment. Best walking surface we've had all day. Closing stages of the walk now. Mile or so to go. I have to say, what a beautiful day, what a beautiful location. Mind you, you might know I always enjoy the Cotswolds. I read the temperature this morning, 15 degrees. I thought, oh, t-shirt and shirt. That's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, perfect temperature. Any excuse to be out in the Cotswolds. Big old tank by the side of the track. I don't know whether that will have provided drinking water when this is all livestock, or whether it's a fuel point for tractors and things working in the fields. Could almost be a railway tank. I wonder how long that'll take to rot away. Doesn't look like it's used anymore. Onward! Still a very dense hedge on that side. But there are occasional gaps when you can make out the concrete fence posts. The size of some of these fields here, quite staggering. Must be quite daunting when you drop your plough into the first sod. Another original fence post. They built these to last, didn't they? Well, on this side there's the cheaper variety, the railway sleeper post. I wonder who decided how many accommodation crossings there would be. I guess the farmer, landowner, owned the land and sold it to the railway, and at that point were able to make their request known. Looking carefully here, just off to our right is the Broadway Brook, which goes underneath the line just to there, using a steel and brick culvert. Not well built. And it goes under the rail, and the next is along there. Had they managed to join this railway up to Cheltenham, they would have had access to the main lines there, north-south, and it would have access to the main lines at Oxford, so it would itself have become a main line. Regrettably, the cash ran out. And keeping your eyes open, what's this off to the side here? Not only is it an old railway sleeper, it actually has a rail chair on it. Good Lord. Oh, wonderful. That's a very old 2-bolt fixing rail chair. What life has that seen? Well, that clearly says GWR, which gives us some idea of dating. Down here you can make out a 96, well I don't think it's 1896. And then over here a 9 and a 30 could be 9th month 1930, probably the best bet. And that says GKN, so I suppose they're the manufacturers. All on one simple little rail chair. Stunning, absolutely brilliant. What a rare find. The other end just contains a bolt. So I suppose that went for scrap. Right, back on the trail. And on this interest-packed walk, yet another feature, an overbridge. And this one looks more original. It hasn't been updated, it's probably just a farm bridge now. So it's made out of corrugated tin. Very pretty though. Can you imagine the express coming down here? Once again here the rail dips down beneath the bridge. Keep those navies working. Out on the road, long curving climb to the bridge at the summit. And here you can see evidence of savings in construction, shall we say. Doesn't look good. But there you can see the construction, rubble infill with just a brick liner. Mind you, it's seen its fair share of engines, trains, goods and passenger. That's where we've just come from, heading for Cheltenham but terminating in Fairford. Then taking a peek over the other side. Ascot was the next stop, but ultimately Oxford. We continue. Meadow surface. Pretty road. I couldn't agree more. They need slowing down. Broadway Mill. Here we leave the tarmac. Heading for the walk sign. And down there. The line of the brook there, just on the horizon. Right. Well, hopefully the structure here is a bridge. Looks like it might be. Yep. Mill stream. And you have to say, a bit of a trickle heading this way. A large meadow. Now that's a bit more rural, isn't it, as a bridge? I believe that was referred to as a clapper ridge. Langford. Trailhead. Good walk.